Technology is best when it brings people together. With these informative words of Matt Mellenberg, good afternoon everyone present here. I am Prerita Bhokadankar from second year CSE2. I will be hosting the GDSC session along with Krishna Soni and Sarika Purohit. As we know, today is Mahatma Gandhi and Lal Bahadur Shastri Jayanti, the huge day for all of us. I would like to salute them for that. And we are already blissful that our orientation session of Google Developer Student Club is happening on the same day. So let us welcome our respected DG, Shri Arun S. Bhatnagar sir, also the guest of honor of today's event, and our second chief guest, Mr. Himanshu Singh. I would like to also welcome our principal, Dr. Keshav Patidas sir, HODs of all the departments, all the faculty members, team members, along with my batchmates. So first, let me introduce you what is GDSC. Google Developer Student Clubs are commonly groups for college and university students who are interested in Google Developer technologies. By joining GDSC, students interact with new Google Developer technologies and by grow their knowledge in a peer-to-peer learning environment. Similar kind of environment is now going to take flight in our institute. Now the question arises, why GDSC IIST? So let me tell you, we are delighted to announce that our college is now a part of Google Developer Student Club, the club which performs the role of bridge for students between their theory and practical learning. GDSC IIST will help to encourage the developing environment in campus as well as in students. It doesn't matter which major they came from, GDSC will help them to connect with everyone. This club mainly focuses on the learning of students among different ranges of technical topics with online and in-person events, talks, project building activities, which helps in contribution to not only our institute but also in our society. With the help of everyone's contribution, GDSC IIST Group and IIST both will touch new heights in developer technologies. Our club also provides some future endeavors like many hackathons, webinars, hands-on workshops, competitions, and open source events. Today, I would also like to welcome our faculty advisor, Mr. Deepak Vishwakarma sir, for always guiding us and being supportive in each and every situation. We are really grateful to have him as a tutor. Now I'd like to hand over the remaining event to Krishna Soni.
Thanks, Prerita. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Krishna Soni from second year CSE. It's my wonderful pleasure to introduce our GDSC lead, Mr. Anurag Mishra, sir. His contribution not only made these opportunities possible, but also made many students to represent their hidden skills in front of everyone. Because of him, it has been possible that our institute is having all these prestigious chapters, and we are always thankful to him for that. We always remember those people in our life who had been the source of some kind of knowledge. So how can we forget the person who made dream like opportunities come true? And the person who is behind all these opportunities is Anurag Mishra, sir. He is the president of CodeChef IIST chapter, chairperson of GFG IIST chapter, and now also our GDSC lead. He is also an AI enthusiast and a web developer. His contribution not only made these opportunities possible, but also made many students to represent their hidden skills in front of everyone. Because of him, it has been possible that our institute is having all these prestigious chapters, and we are most thankful to him for that. Without computer science, there is no virtual world. Just like that, without team members, there is no GDSC IST club. Our team members are divided into two categories, the technical and the non-technical. In technical team, from web development team, we have Ms. Durva Kulkarni from third year as a lead, Mr. Dheeraj Joshi from third year, Ms. Shreya Biohar from third year, Ms. Charu Patidar from third year, Ms. Prerita Bhokardankar and Ms. Anchal Paswan from second year, and Mr. Aman Nigam from third year. In artificial intelligence and machine learning, we have Ms. Surabhi Srivastav from third year as a lead, Mr. Suraj Chauhan from third year, Mr. Divyansh Rai from second year. In cloud computing team, we have Mr. Hemant Mulchandani sir from third year and as a lead, and Mr. Aditya Jain from second year. We have Ms. Monica Patidar and Mr. Dipanshu Bhatt as a competitive programmers from second year. Ms. Manisha Gupta from fourth year as a Flutter developer, and Mr. Adarsh Navneet Sinha from second year as a open source. Mr. Aman Gupta from third year as a cyber security, and Mr. Tushar Carpenter from second year as a video editor. And from non-technical team, Mr. Dheeraj Yadav and Ms. Anjali Chauhan from second year in graphic design and creativity team. And in content writer and idea curator, we have Ms. Ayushi Singh from third year as a lead, and Mr. Astitva Patle, Mr. Atharv Shrotriya, and Ms. Mosmi Roy from second year. In marketing team, Ms. Kriti Mishra from third year as a lead, Ms. Kajal Gyanchandani from third year, and Mr. Kuldeep Singh Rathore from second year. In operation and management team, we have Ms. Sarika Purohit from second year as a lead, Mr. Krishna Soni from second year, and Ms. Shreya Pandey from second year. In public relation and outreach team, Mr. Punit Divedi as a lead from second year, and Ms. Ananya Chandel also from second year. In social media and publicity, Mr. Pulkit Sablok from third year as a lead, Ms. Anamika Patel from third year, and Mr. Lav Kumar Sahu from second year. GDSC IIST team member are those people who will help to organize different programs in colleges and make sure that every student is aware of what the activities are going to take place by GDSC IIST. They will be always present in listening and considering your doubts and finding the optimal solution for that. Today, we have with us the Director General of Group of Indore Educational Institutes, that is Indore Institute of Science and Technology, Indore Institute of Pharmacy, and Indore Institute of Management, Shri Arun S. Bhatnagar sir. Sir has served in the Indian Revenue Services after appearing in the prestigious All India Civil Services exam in 1982, and has also worked as an advisor for business development and marketing strategy in the corporate sector. Sir has also completed a general management program from IIM Bangalore and has certified courses from Duke University and University of Maryland, USA, and was also awarded for the best practices by the Ministry of Finance, Government of India. He is also proud recipient of the Captain of Industry Award in the year 2019 by Honorable Chief Minister of MP. Apart from academic achievements, Sir's hobbies include poetry, meditation, reading, and sports. His poems are going to be released in his collection in his collection of poem Sancheta Kishan. He is a true visionary who is currently leading IST group of institutions with completely different ideologies with the objective of transforming the youth of today to be better professionals and better entrepreneurs. Now, I would like to call DG sir to guide us with his beautiful and informative words. So, please sir. Sorry sir, but your mic is off.
Krishna,
Yes
it
sir.
was a moment for quite an excitement for me because all of you are fulfilling my dream and this journey is going on. And first of all, I will welcome our guest speaker, Honorable Mr. Singh and Anurag Mishra and your team. My compliments and my deep appreciation to all of you. All the principals, sir, and HODs, I welcome all of you in this webinar. It's it's a real pleasure that our students are taking this kind of initiative, and nothing can be more satisfying, more exciting, and more rewarding for DG that his students are doing like this. My all compliments, my all appreciation. Keep it up. Keep it up. As far as today's journey is concerned, you are doing very well, but you have to prepare yourself for the future. Not only yourself, the institution also must prepare his academic environment and academic activities, keeping in view what is going to happen in next 5 years or next 10 years. We cannot plan for a year. There is a Chinese proverb: if you want to plan for a year, plant a crop. If you want to plan for 10 years, plant a tree. And if you want to plan for 100 years, plant a human being. So we have to plan and we have to, give clear perspective. What you people are, Sumoto is doing very well. But as an institution, as a responsibility of DG also, that we must encourage you and we must give you that kind of environment so that you can learn and the new technologies, because this world of computer science is changing so rapidly that we have to keep a pace with it. So that will, how our life will change in 2025 and 2030. Let us see that. Definitely, there will be more connections through integrated or IoT. For instance, one report says that by 2024, more than 50% of internet traffic, एक second, I will make it silent. More than 50% of internet traffic to homes will be from appliances and devices. Driverless car, robotic workers we are seeing now, but in future it will be more. The World Economic Forum, they have given report that many emerging technologies you hear about today will reach a tipping point by 2025. The council surveyed around 800 executives and experts from technological sector. It was very interesting. So they have given 25 defining movements which will occur by 2030. So have a look. Number one, they say 90% of population will have unlimited and free data storage by 2020 or 21. The first robotic pharmacist will arrive in the US in next 2 years. 1 trillion sensors will be connected by internet within 2 years. 10% of the world population will be wearing clothes connected to internet by next 2 years. This is quite interesting. The first 3D printer will be in production soon. It is already there. In printed car, 3D printed car. The first implantable mobile phone will become commercially available in 2025. The first government will replace its sensors with big data technology by 2023 or 2024. 10% of reading glasses will be connected to the internet by 2023. 80% of population will have a digital presence online by 2023. And government will collect taxes via blockchain by 2023. 90% of the global population will have a supercomputer in their pocket within next 3 years. You will carry supercomputer with you. Access to the internet will become a basic right, fundamental right, by 2023 or 24. So 3D printed liver will occur by 2024-25. By 2024, more than 50% of internet traffic to homes will be through appliances and devices. 30% of corporate audit will be performed by artificial intelligence. Now the CAs should be careful. By 2025. Globally, more tips will be made using car sharing program than privately owned cars by 2025. Definitely. First AI machine will join a corporate board of directors by 2026. एक AI machine, एक robot बैठा होगा board of directors में. The first city with more than 50,000 people and no traffic lights will come into existence by 2026. By 2027, 10% of global domestic product will be stored using blockchain technology. There will be more, this is very interesting, there will be more grandparents than grandchildren. Because mortality rate will reduce. More older people will be there. India is safe because you people are there and our median age is quite less. So Europe and USA, Japan, they have to salute India because we are having you. Our median age is less. The middle class in Asia and sub-Sahara Africa will outnumber the US and Europe combined. And very good news to Surabhi, Sarika, and all my daughters. There will be more global wealth owned by women than men. There will be there. Because you people are doing better. There will be more robots than workers. So all these trends are currently underway. And it will converge in by 2030. So how you should prepare yourself. This is the part. For such monumental shifts. So I was going through one of the articles. It has, I quote, if you want to be truly prepared for 2030, you will need to think of your journey as a marathon. Anurag, if you remember, all of you, that I'm always quoting that you should join marathon. If you remember of my lectures and induction, at Wharton University for MBA graduates, they are promoting marathon. So I'm using marathon in a different language, I borrowed this word marathon for you, for all of you, that you will think of your journey as a marathon. You have to keep on going and going and going. You will be a marathon runner. And I will prefer if you do it physically also. That is my pet subject, which I don't want to emphasize again, because some of you will be in problem when I will say that you should wake up early in the morning. So I don't want to start that kind of conversation. But definitely, yes. And invest in yourself every day for next 10 years. You will have a long-term perspective and compound yourself, your knowledge, your skill, your perspective, your network in next 10 years. So how do you make sure that article say there are 10 smart strategy that will prepare you for 2030? So first thing it says, very interesting. You need to develop your anti-fragility and preparedness for black swans. You know black swans? Anybody? Black swans are, is a bird, but if you take it in a English meaning, it means some kind of unexpected events, black swan. So you have to prepare for it, black swan. Second, you need to think differently by learning across discipline. That we are emphasizing in IIST. Applying mental models and focusing on long term. Because now the time has gone when you should read only CS. You should be well versed in what is happening in electronics communication also. There is one new word, FONKU. FONKU, the fear of not keeping up. So you need to develop new capabilities for this FONKU. Okay, oh, I'm not aware about it. So what? No problem. You need to focus on using your own imagination every day. You need to take care of your brain and improve your learning habits. Again and again, I'm saying that our human body is the epitome of universe. We are having trillions and billions of neurons connected by synapses. That is the universe. So you have to take care of this box, which you call mind. Your thought process. It should be very positive. There should not be any place for negative thoughts. You have to take care of mental state. That's very, very important. And for that, we will have another session. How you should, because all of us are working at beta level, beta waves. What is this beta waves? That is also you must know as a student of CS. You should come to the alpha wave and you should go beyond that. Once you are working on high beta waves, your thought process, one day you will get 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts, which you have to reduce if you want to be energetic, if you want to be innovative, if you want to be creative. You have to reduce this thought process, which you could just keep on coming and disturbing you day to day. 60 to 80,000. If you shift to alpha wave and theta wave, then it will be more easier for you to grasp the concepts. This is a fundamental rule that for that you should wake up early at 4 a.m. I'm going to start a club, 4 a.m. club. And whosoever will join the membership, I will give him the best kind of gift. Anurag is the first candidate who will join. He's raising his hands. Very good. Welcome, Anurag. Krishna is also coming up. He's smiling. And you need to become a polymath. The person who knows various things, not confined to one or two things. You need to make a commitment to create your own creative assets and invest in your own creativity. And that's why I'm very happy. You people are showing your creativity. This is a really very defining moment for me, that you people are coming up without our suggestions. Of course, Deepak are with you. But all, Deepak, very nice, Vita, you are doing very well. But all of you, that you are coming up with some new ideas, with some new concepts. So do develop your positive habits, systems, and deal with this black swan. It is a common in Australia and Tasmania. It is a white feather bird, but now it is used in English that it is unpredictable or unforeseen event, typically with extreme consequences. So you have to prepare for all unprepared things. And I wish you all the best. That today itself, I was reading one word, which I'm quite excited about it. You must be aware about it. That is called what they are doing, metaverse. Metaverse with blockchain technology. Now it's coming up. Metaverse is a term first coined in science fiction. A combination of meta plus universe. So this is Facebook and all, they will use this metaverse concept. So it is becoming quite popular, and they will use, many of the new platforms are powered by blockchain technology using cryptocurrency and NFT, that is non-fungible tokens. So this metaverse is coming up very well. So this also is a new thing which is coming up. So every day there will be something new, and when I go through because of your inaugurations and etc., I'm in a habit of reading various articles. So sometimes I feel that I should join first year in CS because it is so exciting and so interesting. So I wish you all the best, and my compliments and my appreciation, very deep appreciation for all of you, those who are attending, those who have initiated this process. Thank you very much. And again, I will welcome Mr. Singh, and we are very happy that you are here, sir, and we wish that you should come in person to our IIST Indore. And Indore, you may be familiar with. I am not aware about your background, but once you come, let me assure you that we will take you to Sarafa Bazaar also, and right from Pani Puri to all jalebis are welcoming you, will welcome you. So thank you, Himanshu. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your informative and beautiful words. Today, we also feel honored as we have Mr. Himanshu Singh, sir, as our first guest and speaker to guide us at the orientation program of Google Developer Club. Mr. Himanshu Singh is a Google developer expert for Android and full stack developer. He had worked on multiple domains like healthcare, rental, and gaming platforms. His primary focus is on building robust architecture and making the apps scalable. Apart from Android domain, he is an active open source contributor and the backend developer. He is also the first Kotlin and backend developer from India at Google. He is currently working as an Android engineer as a core team member at Clue by Wyoming. He has been volunteering as a speaker of Google Developer club for the last 6 years to mentor new clubs and students. And today we are glad that we are getting the opportunity to take his guidance. Now, I would like to call Himanshu sir to guide us with his beautiful experience. So, please, sir.
Thank you so much, Krishna. First of all, sir, as you mentioned about IIST, I'm well versed with this firm because my cousin used to professor there in computer department. I think he left in 2020, but he was actually working there. So I have been in the campus for once, but yeah, it has been a couple of years. And thank you so much for warm welcome. I hope my sound is audible to you all. Uh, So I don't have a formal PPT to be precise to show because as Anurag asked me, I have to share more around what I do and the whole orientation process for this student DSCs, I think. Yeah. So this is an altercated name now. When we actually started this DSC, I was also one of the DSCs, I guess 3 years back. So that was the pilot program which we had firstly. So after that, it has evolved into Google Developer Student Clubs, but initially it was DACs. And I'm pretty sure to mention this, Anurag is missing majority of the fun because initially Google used to take us to a whole trip to Goa. It was a week's trip, fully sponsored, and that is something what he's missing in the pandemic days now. So apparently, yes. Apart from that, starting about me, so I'm an expert for Android and Kotlin, which Kotlin became, I think, last week. So I became an expert for Google for that part. I do a couple of open source contributions. There is an Android content site called MindDocs. I create content for them. And currently I'm based in Berlin, Germany. So I work here in a women healthcare startup called Clue. So I work here as an Android engineer. My whole process is to design architectures here. So that's what I have been working on. Okay. Give you a background how you guys have to focus on something. Not saying that you have to follow, but it's something which I followed. Uh, my community thing sort of started in second year of my engineering, and I'm a bit afraid because faculty members are here, but I was actually supported by my college in my attendance thing, so I didn't have to attend colleges regularly. So I was in the college, in the labs, always doing some coding stuff, but not regularly attending classes. And that's also a regret which I have that I don't have a college memory per se to say that I actually was in college. So it has its pros and cons. But for me, it was more of learning because I was not well versed what functions are or what even methods are. So in my first year practical exam, an external asked me which one of these are functions, and I didn't know what was that. So that's how it started for me. I started sitting in labs for the whole 8 to 5 hours every day, that the class timings and not attending classes and just doing coding stuff. And after that, that was this student program again for Google called Google Student Ambassadors, which has been converted to DSCs now. We started that. I got part of that. That gave us a good insight of what do we need to achieve because frankly, while me being in college, I was always in a zone that if I am the popular kid in the college, I might have the best life outside of the college, which apparently that's not true because uh, in college we always focus on grades. Uh, Members are they are gone because there's some.
Yes, sir, they are here.
Okay, I will not share this fact then, but but okay, just to give you a context, I had more than 10 backs in my whole 4 years of engineering, but I have actually given a couple of papers 3 times in my engineering, but I didn't understand a lot of concepts there. There was programming, theory understood, because it's also a mistake. My whole focus was understanding how Java works, how Kotlin works, or how even JavaScript works. I passed on my 4 years, and third year, I practically got my first job. My college was in Pune, so I never attended college after. I was just back for my exams. So that's how of it in being in and graduated. Apparently, I never started as a teacher. That's what I say to people, that use your each day of your 4 years that thing new, because this was something which I that 1,000 days in your career. Utilize your 500 days in that, you would be way beyond what others are in, because there is if we would have studied a bit harder, we would have maybe breached NIT, IITs. That's might always occur. But also, a flip part of it is that a lot of IITians are also the same as you, because
It seems Sir is having some network issues.
Yeah, he'll be joining back.
Right.
Yes, sir, now
definitely I
audible.
miss it is the internet connectivity. Geo has the cheapest in the world. Yep. So as I say, things which you need to actually focus on is where do you need to make your career, sort of, because that's how you have to decide. Because when you see an IITian, we are sometimes a bit overwhelmed that these are IITians, they would get through Google or Amazon or any other company. But that's actually not the fact. They are just in a good centric zone because they have a good environment and seniors to guide them through. Because consider this fact, when they already see a couple of folks who have been taught at joining Google or they are joining Amazon. So they have already a target set that we have to be something like this. They have this whole pipeline set for them, because now teacher starts you pushing that, okay, you have to do this. Like actually after the 4 years or the third year of cycle, you actually learn something out of it and you be in Google, at least if not Google, somewhere else, but good startup. But in my case, I was in a third tier engineering. So for me, my best was Infi Accenture. I think that was one of them, which we were told, okay, we can actually join. But apparently, seeing the cost we paid, it was very minimal what we earned. So it was never a target for me to go there, but that's the reason when I was oriented by someone, I understood this fact that I can't go and sustain a life. And this, I'm being very bluntly true, that it's very hard to sustain a life when you choose something in your comfort zone. That it helps you in placement for sure, but are you settled with this? That this is what you want? So my whole recommendation as being a student and now working professional is that please have a target what you want to achieve after 4 years. Because a retrospect word is something which we have been taught, we have passed that phase. But now you need to do you achieve a target? Are you actually performing in that capabilities? That's one of them. About this DSC program, one of the drawbacks I mentioned, but it was it's one of the worst things. But One of the good things for you all is you get interactions with a lot of Googlers. If you want to, there is Nikita Gandhi who might be there. There is Anuj Duggal who would be there. So this is one of the ways you can actually learn from them because they are interacting with n number of people, and their only target is to have an improved employment in India. How you see employment in India is very differed from what sees in India as an employment country, because India as a core is seen as a support engineers group, not as the creator of engineering group, because of the cheap labor and excessive working hours. So if you would have seen, the labor law has changed the mandatory 9 hours to 12 hours a day. So that's how that has been changed. I saw in Germany, we have a mandatory working hours of 6 every day. We can't work more than 6. So that's a difference how we see India nowadays. So when you have an access to people like Nikita, Anuj, or any fellow one coming here for a session or talks, just hop onto them, eat their brains out, as many questions as possible, because that's one of the things. Because apart from swags, there is nothing which you can actually get for free. You have to earn something out for this, and if you want to, like, I'm pretty sure a number of people would want a good job, but there are a couple of more folks who want in MBA, MTech, and something. But if you're looking for a good job, it's actually like a stage or more of a podium for you. Just you have to step into someone's shoes, ask them, this is something what I want to achieve. This is what I have to do it. Tell me if that's the possibility. And or if you don't know it, connect me with a couple of folks I can interact with in the same domain. This is a very good utilizing this platform for sure. And definitely, I think Anurag is the lead. Ask him to connect to folks because he would have access to a lot of people. So don't shy away from even asking him to get him contacts, because it's something, a career which we are talking about always, and sometime you would definitely realize that you are not utilizing your college hours or college days to the fullest, because I actually decoded my engineering life as, so I graduated in Lonavala, so that's already a vacation point for us. I was like living in Assam, so it was more of a hill station for me. So when I moved to Lonavala, and we already have heard this song of Amir Khan, Aati Kya Khandala, so that's already there. So it was like I have to explore everything. So we actually, my first year was whole into exploring Pune, Mumbai, Lonavala, Khandala, every stuff. But the second year changed a lot because there. So if somebody wants to explore, it's the best way. First year should be exploring, making would stay for you. Friendship would stay for you for longer terms. For sure, but the good ones, yes. And from second year, you can actually start focusing. Still, you get 1,000 days. So there's nothing what you can't achieve in 4 years. It's just that you need the right mentorship and the right contact at the right time. And one more thing, definitely create your Twitter account. That's a way better option to get jobs nowadays. And you get to contact a lot of folks there directly. So, and a lot of people reply to it. I think that's pretty much what I have covered. If you have questions, please shoot it out. And it should not be a formal one. It can. So go ahead, type it out, or if somebody wants to speak, I don't know if you have an access, but please go ahead. Please let me know. I think this is what I had roughly in my brain. So please go for your questions. I'm looking forward to that.
From a place tier 3 college and then moving from Lonavala to Berlin, what were some of the biggest things that you faced? And in a student's perspective, how did you overcome them? And especially that label in India that you get, right? You have the IIT, NIT label, but then you also have the tier 3 label, which stays like longer than you've actually worked in the company or something like that.
Okay.
So how do you had that journey?
Not just I would say Lonavala, but that some of your high-tech stuff. But one thing which I learned in Assam was good one, that what we study in CBSE 11, 12 standard of mathematics teaches us in 7th standard, like logarithms, statistics, differentiations, integrations. We were taught from 7 to 10th. So when I shifted to an I went to Kota. So I knew all of the mathematical stuffs, but physics was a bit tough. So that is when I realized I couldn't go through IITs. That was my realization in 12th standard. I can't go through, but we always have a fear of not being able to communicate this to our parents, because I don't know how would they. So I couldn't communicate. I was like, "Kuch to ho jayega." Not IIT. So, but nothing worked, frankly. So I got through the CP and stuff in Pune, which happens at the Maharashtra state level. I got Lonavala. I was not very happy about it. I was happy because it was in, I would say, no city, nothing. It was just whole. So to give you a context how my college was, our classes used to be built because clouds were inside the classes. So that's how our classes were stopped, because sometimes there was clouds, sometimes there were high rainfall. So that was one of them. And when I started my first sem, we had 4 years and 8 sems. In every semester, apart from my last semester, I always max. That was common with me. So in first year, physics was there because I never understood physics. Now I do, but at that time I don't even know why we were doing this wavelength and stuff. And as I said, theory of computing, there was a lot of bugs. In third year, first sem, I actually had all my subjects down, but I was already in a job, so I couldn't manage both of exams and stuff. But when I actually graduated, I think I didn't have a year back. Yes, I didn't have a year back. I graduated in 4 years. So when I graduated, my whole overall percentage turned out to be 52 or something. And that too, because in my last sem, I got 83% as a cumulative. So I was already working in third. So I was working for a startup based in Delhi called 90. I worked there for 1.5 years. And that company got acquired by Times Internet. So that helped me as a sales pitch, because an engineer is as good as your computer, but you need to be a good salesperson. You need to utilize your stuff, how you were there, and you need to sell yourself. That's the best thing we need to learn. And that's why I would always say MBA guys are very good. So when I was able to sell this whole thing, that I built this app, Times Internet acquired it for their idea. There was one feature which I built and it was acknowledged by Google, which gave me this whole limelight of being a developer, because there was something which they were not able to figure out, and I did. It was a hack, but that was not the best optimal solution, but it worked. So after that, I engineering and did this fresher thing in my life. I was not looking for a job, but more of a contract thing. So there's a gaming company in India called Smash. It is inside the mall where you go and play cricket. There is a headset stuff, right? So I was working for them. I was consulting this game of cricket, where we were building this game of integrating multiple different cricket and stuff. So I worked there. I was just not in a job because I was done with Indian culture of job. that you need to work for 9 hours. You need to have like a manager on top of your head always. So I was done with that. In my contract job, I left. I was then in Mumbai. I was exploring Alibag and all. That was another few places. Then in one of my conferences, I was delivering a talk, and in a conference, I met a founder. He was an investor in US. He reached out to me that they were looking for an Android developer. That's how a journey of Lumi started. The previous company I was working for. There I worked for 2.5 years, but the learning I had there, it didn't have this whole office culture. It was completely remote. So I got to interact with people I didn't even know. I got to meet the Coinbase founder. So this whole interaction happened, and now for like 4 years after I quit Smash, the first 2 times I interviewed with them, I was rejected because I was not matching their expectations. But this third time I turned out to be lucky and I cracked all their rounds. I literally, they have this idea of women healthcare, which in India is considered to be taboo. Nobody, you are like, why are you even thinking of it? But here we talk about it. I design algorithms for it, and that's something I was excited for. And just to give, we have in 37% of women uses it, but in India, not even 0.1% uses it. So that was not very promise about that it should be used. So that's a target which I had, that I once want to step in Clue, and also because in the whole European country, they have even better than Google and Amazon, Facebook. Clue has the best work culture being presented there. So, this culture of working 4 days a week, 6 days a day. About that, you can't. You can do it. So that's a thing which I wanted to try, and I'm happy I'm here. So that's pretty much how my journey happened. But in the learning wise, when I was in my college, my lab had a good internet, fortunately, and I used to sit there and something. That's how I did it, because I was good at data structures and algorithms. So I knew this for sure that I can't make. But there were a lot of different startups ones if you want to try for it. But if I knew that work, I from Pune University and hired me. Nobody would listen to me. So I started doing this open source thing a lot. Open source started, people started noticing me and my work and domains. And that's when I was presenting my resume, people knew that okay, I have seen a couple of times when I was interviewed. Once I was interviewed with Hotstar, and this is a blog, explain me. But he didn't know that blog was written by me. So there is sometimes when you do a lot of content, you don't even realize that much. So that's how you start making your work talk for you, rather than just saying I have a grade of 9 CGPA or something and I'll get a job. That's a good way of saying a job, but is that job satisfying for you? Something you need to decide. Yeah. Prashant has asked one question. To achieve success like Google developers. Google developers they are engineers like us. So there is no success you would say that they are very successful and you are not. Well, okay, consider this. Great engineers or the designers or any startup you pick for in India, do you think they're less successful? No. They are making better money maybe than Googlers. Being in Google makes you happy. If you need good startups has good base, a good workforce rather than, but Google, if you go once, the next whole steps become. So if being in Google, they will prefer your resume that you would be a better option for them because you have this whole scale of Google. So it's nothing. Okay. How much competitive programming and development? I don't know competitive programming. I'm completely zero in that. But I would recommend you guys to, because that are designing a high scale algorithms in someday it would definitely be needed, because think this as a huge data set to process. You don't know what's the, so that's the reason I would not say competitive programming. I would say data structures is a good way to, because you need to reframe how the data is being possible way. So but you should not be this code shift 5-star things, which are people a lot of. If you are targeting for Google, you definitely need to be maybe 5 stars. I don't know. But if you are looking for a good role in Android, in web, yep, I think I've covered questions. Okay.
So 2 questions are like above that. Puneet and Adarsh.
Okay, yeah. Others, I can't say how to get into Google because I have never been into Google. I dropped from the interview. So when I was interviewing with Google while I was also interviewing with Clue. So when Clue happened, I dropped from the rounds of Google. I didn't want to go there. So, but if you want to get in Google, for sure, improve your data structure. Alternative to it, because they would interview you for 7 rounds and 6 of them, and that would be high level DS, not even smaller ones. You will not find it a lot of places. To prepare for it is also take the premium membership of LeetCode and just solve for the question. And one of the tricks I would give you is, if you are planning, not right now, but in future, whenever you think that Google has scheduled an interview, right? So check who is interviewing you, not just Google, but any data structure questions. See who is interviewing you, go to his lead code profile, and see what he has solved for last 2 months. Because nobody is going to ask you beyond that. Solve that problem, specific problem, what he has solved, and you are 80% through it. What was the other question? Okay, internships. For internships, as I said, make your GitHub profile very strong, be visible from like somewhere different. Make your own portfolio, if possible. Have your own domain, but just don't have a fancy website. Have something to showcase your project. Good ones. It should be something, should be visible. Like, even there are no stars, but there should be a good set of code written, a good set of architecture, for example. Whatever you're doing, it should be in the best proper production grade. If you're doing that, people will start noticing you. And if then you start interviewing with companies, just showcase them GitHub profiles. For internships, there are n number of internships available. You just need to. Okay. Company focus more on DSA and not on project knowledge. DSA is, as I said, is for the companies who are big shots, Google, Amazon. But smaller grades still work without DSAs and it works fine. PhonePe, one of them, ask you a lot of DSA, but they need it because they are a technical and financial companies. Need a lot of good DSA. From that, a mid-level like Agio, for example, or Gojek, for example, Cred is one of them. They don't need your DSA. They just need what kind of project you can build. How to start open source contributing? There are a couple of ways to do it. There's 3 steps which I follow. So the first step is I find a potential bug. I go to their repository. I see if I can resolve it. If I can, I resolve it. I open a pull request. I give it them to review it. That's one kind of open repository. The second is, which I call it as a chori, but it's still not that, there is some project which is considered. So as you mentioned, there's a chat SDK which I have created. I created that because chat SDKs are very costly, so I can't use it for my. So I created one of my own open source and I just pushed it online. Now, if somebody wants, that's another way of open sourcing it. Or the hackier way to do is just go to some README files, which for Oktoberfest a lot of people, but that should not be the one. First two is what you should be following. Okay, how can we choose one fields to go with? I'll give you my example. I never wanted to be an Android engineer, but since I didn't have an iPhone at that point, I had no other options. And for even I wanted to be an iOS engineer, but for iOS we needed MacBooks, can't afford it, so hence Android. But my way of choosing, you have at least 1,000 days. Put your at least a month in whatever domains you want to try it out. Even it be UI UX, it can be graphics, Android, web, front end engineering, anything you choose for. Just give yourself a month because you're not like you don't want to earn money right now. That's not something stopping you from learning something. So experiment yourself with for at least a month. And see the best, take it. Then you will learn. If there's no excitement, you would not. Okay, about blockchain. So I initially, but there's a misconception about blockchain. A lot of people think blockchain as a cryptocurrency thing. In a very generic term, think of blockchain as a database. It's an open source database. That's how I would put it. Think blockchain is not something that you can learn blockchain. There are two ways of thinking what do you want to do with blockchain. There is one thing which you want to create smart contracts. A smart contract is basically your agreement terms, which you have to make it smart using blockchain, which in a lot of videos, when a Bitcoin transaction happens, a lot of people get into it to validate a transaction, right? So basically they are validating that contract from people. Am I audible? Hello? I don't know. Internet sucks here. Sorry.
Cut in between, sir. You're audible now.
Okay. Yeah. So when you think, first you need to decide blockchain, right? Do you need to implement your own blockchain? It can be done with any programming language, JavaScript. It can be anything, Python, right? But if you want to build smart contracts, there's something called Solidity, which you need to learn to build smart contracts. Smart contracts are the best thing if you want to learn. I don't think that you guys are going to launch a crypto. There are n number of cryptos already there, and you can't promote it. But I would say learn smart contracts if you want to be there, because that's the way of security mechanisms what blockchain have. Ayush has asked, is there any subject we need to study? I don't know. I can't comment on that. Faculties are here, so. But it's just that you need to have a preference what you want to be. For me, my preference was algorithms for always. That's a good way. That's a challenging thing because, frankly, no offense, our engineering subjects are very outdated. Because when I was answering my cross-platform answers, I was asked about Cordova, and we are talking about Flutter now. So that's how outdated the syllabus is. So you need to learn subjects because you want to get grades, I would say. But apart from that, no. One of the skills for placement, I would say, is how you pitch yourself, how you speak. The important aspects you need to learn, definitely. And being a good developer is not a criteria. You can't see, what do you define as good? You can be good for someone, but you can't be good for someone else. You can be good for, right? So always don't consider you have to be a good one. You can be good in certain terms, which some other person cannot be. So don't always think that I can be the best. I'm in Android, but I don't know testing. So that doesn't mean I'm a developer. I'm a developer who knows something which other people might not know it. That's how I define a good developership. But it's not that by learning a subject, you can be a best one out of the market. You just need a hard dedication, I would say, of practicing sometimes. Yeah, I think I covered all. Yeah, I covered everything. When you say minor and major projects, are they related to your college or project something you create on GitHub? Is it college ones? Okay. My minor project, I skipped it completely. I got a back there uh, because I had a major release coming out that day, so I couldn't make it to the release, and I did a backlog examination for that. But that sometimes helps you to understand a broadened perspective. But in my college, a lot of people didn't build one. So what they actually did was they what do you say? They purchased it from the market. I would say in that way, pay something and get a project for yourselves and just display it. My project was more of I don't know how many of you seen this very weird movie called uh, Love Story 2050. I guess Priyanka Chopra one, Harman Baweja, right? So in that movie, there was this concept. Uh, when he goes to the future, goes virtually, standing in front of a mirror. That is my project. 100. Some was able to just copy it to be, but uh, this is, I would say, I learned my project. I just was watching a movie and I wanted to build. In the second or third year, I wanted to build this as my final year project. Into an aspect, but I don't. And until you have made some patent type, companies would not consider it because they also know a lot of people actually copy it from the market. So, and if you need, go on GitHub, search for good, see a lot of them. That is, I think, open sourced. This is open source. Build your own system. You can do anything. I think I covered everything.
Yeah, so
I have
like
attached my.
also like
If you have any other questions after this session, happy to help.
yeah, like
Thanks,
maybe
everyone.
how to get started with Android if someone wishes to, because in our college like Android culture is not that much, means in like most of our folks are only in web day. So can you?
And you guys need to change my photo. It is 2 years back.
So did you know one fact? Our DSC lead said,
Sorry. Yeah. Please go ahead. I'm listening.
okay, I think from this your pic, our teammate says that this pic gives some glimpses of MSD.
No, not from this
I
pic,
have
but
been actually complimented three weird things. This is for MSD. There's one photo which I recently uploaded. People said it looks like Varun Dhawan, and I was exploring Potsdam, a
It's
place
not
in
weird.
Berlin.
It's not weird. It's compliment.
No, because at least should be compared to a good person, right? Not Varun Dhawan at least. And I was actually exploring a city here in Berlin. Somebody came upstairs. By any chance, do you know Farhan Akhtar? You speak like it. I'm like, okay. And now I don't know if that's a compliment or something, but it's like, no, I don't know him. Thank you.
Okay. Sir, was I audible like when I asked like, can you please share something
But
about
that
like
photo
how
is
did it
so old. I
started
think
with
it's two
Android?
years back of my brother's wedding because I didn't have any photo of straight chat everywhere. Now I see people use it.
Questions that is still remaining is in our college a lot of culture is about web dev, and that is something Anurag was asking. How do students get started into Android or Android development?
Okay, first of all, it's a very like common question to be asked because there is always a challenge which happens in college, right? Few group development, few people say Android, few say iOS. No, nobody says Android. iOS, sorry. They say learning algorithm, AI, a very fancy way to say it, right? For ML and AI, I'll go reverse. ML and AI, one thing you need to learn is dead straight that you need to know mathematics by your heart. If somebody comes and says ki PyTorch seekh lo ya TensorFlow seekh lo, you're a good engineer, no, you're not. You can survive for a year in fresher level, but after that you can't. Going back to Android, see, India has 78% Android share, I think more. So Android is there to learn. Okay, but if you want to learn something in Android, you should actually have the code labs. I would say initially it was very bad, but now it's very good to get started. There is a course of mine in YouTube. There's a lot of people who create a free content. Just go there, learn how to use Android. So Android development is all about using Android Studio. If you know how to use it in a proper way, you know it. And there's one programming language, Kotlin. If you know this, you know everything. About web, there's one thing which I would definitely recommend. See, languages would come, go, mobile frameworks, but web development will always be there. So JavaScript is sometimes a bit pain, but it's a lot of pain. But it actually depends how you want to see web development as. So web development also can be broken two categories, broader categories, is like front engineering or back end engineering. If given a chance to me, if I can go back in past and I can choose another career, I would definitely select backend engineering for sure. Because no matter what you do in your life, backend engineering has that source of data. And till the point technology has been there in Earth and till the Earth gets nuked out, you have data. So backend engineering is something which will remain. Front end would be similar like Android, React, Vue.js. A lot of frameworks will come. If you know the crux of it, you are the best engineer I possible. I highly rate backend engineers the most, but again, that's a personal preference. I can't skip my 6 years of Android engineering now and go back to backend because I need to still start it fresher then. But if possible, if somebody is trying to choose, try to give backend a more focus because that's a job and that has a very good job of incrementing jobs as well. That gets highest number of salaries. What is the best way to learn and then analyze? Knowledge cannot be harmful for you. So even if you know somewhat of Android, it's good. It's not that it would harm you in the future. If so, I'll say why I'm saying this. Consider 6 years of your career in web engineering, and 6 years down the line, you would be an engineering manager, you would be a tech lead. So nobody can come up to and make fool out of you, saying that okay, Android में ऐसा होता था, आपको नहीं पता. But if you know something, you can actually counter them out. So it's always good to have knowledge across domains. Okay, others something on Flutter. I was trying Flutter 2 years back. I don't like it personally. There is a reason why I don't. It's a personal preference. The reason being is, when I started, there was something called Cordova, there was something called PhoneGap, there was Ionic, then React Native came, then there is Flutter. In future, a number of things will still come. The whole point what I'm trying to make is native development with Java and Kotlin was there, is there, and will be there. But this frameworks, which multi-platform things, will come and go. So don't ever focus on something which is a framework based. Focus on actual code development. Frameworks you can learn any day, but don't learn a framework. If you want to learn Flutter, it's a good thing, but I would still recommend first learn the native development and then shift to Flutter, because who knows after. So if you are in a second year engineering, if you graduate by fourth year, who knows if by fourth year Google shuts down Flutter. Google has a habit of doing it. So if they shut it down, where does it leave in your career? Because now you know nothing. The one thing you know you're focused and dedicated about is shut down. So learn something which focuses more of your core skills and then learn frameworks. As how you say in web, learn JavaScript first and then learn React, Angular, whatever you want. See, what you go next after getting into Java backend, web dev? I didn't get the question, but if after getting into these, are you sure you know all of these? Because if you know, I don't think you should go anywhere else, just focus on that. But that's a huge thing to say that you know Java, you know backend, and you know also web dev, if that's what I'm interpreting it correct. Game development is definitely a crazy thing. I would definitely recommend if anybody wants to learn it, because everything is gamified nowadays. So Java is compulsory for Android? No, it's not. Now everything recommended is in Kotlin, but it's good to have because Java and Kotlin are like sisters, I would say, and a lot of concept of Java is being actually ported into Kotlin. So good to know Java. There's a book called Head First Java. That's a good thing you should learn. Apart from that, you should not learn anything. Like Java framework or JavaScript or any other language at the present, is ML AI trending? So something. ML AI is trending because there is a continuous flow of data. Because there is data, people are focusing towards ML and AI, but the whole crux of it is algorithms. So if you know how you build algorithms, you're good to go in AI and ML. Sorry. What about career in data science? I don't exactly know about data. Folks who work in data science have actually migrated into ML. So I think it's better. So data science, if I'm not wrong, it's very much into filtering of data, modelization of data. It's a good thing because we have data, but I don't know a lot of people actually after working data science didn't move into ML. That's a good way of putting into that data science can be a whole domain. Data analytics can be one of them, but after that you can also work with ML. Android with Java is a good choice, no doubt about that, but it's not the recommended way. You can still build applications in Java. Ayush, I would not say choose anything, everything. Just focus something. If you want to be a web dev, focus on that. Because in India, you would say, not in India, yeah, in India, I would say, sorry, n number of technologies are being used for web development, Go languages, Java, Node, Python. But when you see a very big application being made, it's always in Java or Kotlin because they are the crux of enterprise applications. So that's a very good way to put it. But if you want to choose after web development, I would still say learn algorithms because if you are learning backend engineering, you need to know that how you're filtering your data out in the best possible way. Data structures are a good way to understand. Asking from back of your teen days where you focused only on career or you thought that branching in more than one career is good. Yeah. My teen days were very weird. Being in Assam, we didn't have anything else to do. Either study or just go out and play cricket. My preference was always playing cricket. Uh, I didn't even understand mathematics. So I learned mathematics because that's one thing I didn't had to mug up something. I didn't have to memorize. I loved mathematics, solving this. And when I came in touch with this integration and differentiation, it was a whole new life for me in 8th standard. So I was super happy with that. But After that, my career was, as every Indian male has, career to be a cricketer. That's a very vague thing to say, but I realize it's a very big competition because at that time IPL was not there. Hota to I would have tried for sure, but it was not practically possible. So my career choices were this, and the other career choice, which is a very weird one, I'll tell you, was being a fashion communicator in National Institute of Fashion Technology, NIFT. I cracked the exam apparently as a 96 AIR. I went to my parents saying that, "Acha, मेरे को अब fashion designing में जाना है." My mom was like, "नहीं." No arguments apart from that because apparently you have to follow them. They are the ones paying for the education. So I was said no, and I had no other options to go for engineering. But if I would have selected that, I have a lot of friends in that, so I know it was a good job. I know a couple of folks who work for Shah Rukh Khan now. There's a friend of mine in who works with Manish Malhotra. He is a personal designer for Katrina now. So that's how I know they do crazy stuff. And the best part is they get to travel the whole world. But that was one of the things I tried, but I failed drastically. And you can't argue with parents for sure because they are the source of your money. Favorite cricketer? It started when it was Sehwag. After that, it's Kohli. Because I have been following Kohli when he was 16 years of age. So I have seen that whole transition of him. I like MSD, but he's not my favorite. I can say one cricketer I definitely hate is Sachin, and a lot of people would go against me, but one of the cricketers I definitely hate. Oh yes, ICB I've been following after Sehwag retired, but not right from the start. So majority of the crowd is second year, third year. Which years you guys are from? Fourth year? You have a good chance to make your career now. Don't just wait for placements. Knock the placement out the best possible way. Oh, everyone is second. Okay. What else do you want to hear? Because for Anurag, I had to get up 8 in the morning on a weekend. So placements and academics both are different, but they are co. If your academics are good, you'll get a good place. If your knowledge is good in academics, you might get. So it's up to you how you want to interpret it. It's totally fine. But placements are makes everyone happy. Your first year salary. What's everyone's dream company? The last event I talked into, I asked someone about the dream company, and somebody came up to me and said, "No, Infosys." So I want to focus on Google, but that you'd love it. It's more than Google. So engineering, if you are focusing on engineering, very less engineering, more of a. But media.net is a very good company. If someday you need a referral to it, let me. Rockstar Games GTA. I'm not sure. In placements, interview takes first place theory based. In placement, the first thing which actually comes up is how you sell yourself, how you pitch yourself, and don't be overdressed. I don't know how your dressing sense in colleges are, but I was told I never set for placements. So there was a bank, US bank TR or something, which came out in our college, and they only selected two persons to for Android roles. So I actually helped them into interviews because that was fourth year of my career. So when I actually got them into the interview process, I saw them actually wearing tie and stuff for this interview, which is actually good. But a bit of times you need to understand who the company is, who the interviewers are, and don't be overdressed. Tie, full shirt, formal pants. It actually looks like that door-to-door salesman. So no, be in casuals, best casuals, and be as confident as possible, because they know that you are not the best out there in the market, but how confident are you is what matters. So one thing which I would recommend, even if you lie someone to an interviewer, look into their eyes and lie with confidence. They would be in doubt then. Rohit, I'm not sure what you have as option. Choose between what? And Microsoft, Google are on the same lines, Facebook as well. Facebook has a bit easy data structures, but you would not even think of it. Should I go for internship? You should definitely. I would say you should go for internship. That gives you a broader perspective of how things work in production. If you have a good option, but don't go for free. If somebody is saying that abhi exposure ke liye karo, don't do it. Say no. And if somebody wants to like just want to experiment with Android internships somewhere, just let me know. I'll refer you in a couple of companies. Internship mein I don't think you require anything. You just need a couple of theek thak sa project, and you know the crux of Android. For example, if you know even Android, don't need to be a pro. You just need to understand how it works. See, I see you being very enthusiastic and all. I'm not demotivating you, but that fades out when you go after third year. And a lot of reasons behind it, because uh, you get into a relationship, you get into something else, and you don't know what your focus changes into. So if you are enthusiastic, be focused. That's one thing is very important, which we lack as students, because we are immature at that point. We don't know what to do. Anything which looks fancy is good for us. So and one request as well. I don't know if you guys do, but in our college there was a thing that we sometimes used to feel that uh, हमको टीचर से इतना सीखने नहीं मिल रहा, and they are not the best ones out there. But one thing which I would definitely say, because in our college there was this thing that if there was a sir who was teaching us data structures, and they were like, sir nahi padha pate, he doesn't know data structures. But I'm telling you this for the fact that when somebody is standing in front of you and speaking, he knows something which you don't, and that's the reason you are sitting there. So this is one educating manner. I would say it's more like that you should at least respect your faculties, because they are actually the source you will learn from. Not always internet, because you would learn from internet for sure, but you would need someone to go and fire up your questions at. And that is where sometimes our ego as students come out in the picture. We say कि नहीं मतलब सर को नहीं आता, but that's actually not the fact. Faculties are actually bounded with this whole syllabus of the universities you need to throw your questions with, and that's the reason. That's a personal experience though. I judged a faculty, and that's the reason I know I was wrong. We should not do it actually. Any other questions, guys? Because it might be a lunchtime, I think.
Yeah, so for you, it's like breakfast time. So have you done
I have
taken it?
passed on my Twitter handle if anybody has questions in future, but I think we are done then. If anybody doesn't have any questions, we can actually end
Sir,
this.
am I audible?
Audible to me,
I am.
but
Sir, I'm audible now. To you also?
Was there a question?
Might be not, sir.
Don't know.
Okay.
Maybe you cannot listen me. Okay. So do ask your questions, else like we'll be moving to like one game section is there.
I think Anurag, we can end this maybe.
Yes, sir.
And sorry, so it was a long stretch. I didn't prepare for anything. It was just what I was had to speak.
Yeah, no, sir. It's great. Like,
We are grateful to you for giving us your time. This session already proved to be a splendid learning session. Your presence means a lot to us. Thank you, sir, for giving your precious time. Now, it's time to refresh our mind with some games. So, let's call Sarika Purohit to continue further. Please, Sarika.
Thank you so much, Krishna. Now it's time to refresh your minds. Never let the fear of striking out keeping you from playing the game. So let us start with an interesting and enthusiasm quiz. The link for the quiz is being given in the chat box, so go through the link and enjoy the quiz. Also, I would like to call Durva ma'am to please present the quiz screen so that we can continue further. Thank you, ma'am. The guys had already started joining us in the quiz. Guys, join fast so that we can continue the quiz. Okay, most of them already joined. I would also request team members as well as Himanshu sir, if they want to join, then please join us. We would be blessed to have you on the quiz. As there are some surprising questions in the quiz.
is he there?
Okay, so can we start the quiz or anyone want to join us? We will wait for half a minute, then we will start.
let's just wait for some time and then we can proceed further.
We have 55 players now. 57, it's great. Show your enthusiasm, guys. What are you waiting for? Join the quiz.
I guess 2 are more left because we have 62 in attendees and 59 there. So one is Durva, so she'll be not playing. Faculties can also join if they are there.
Yeah, I guess we should proceed further.
Yeah.
Most students have started and joined in.
Yeah, please start. Okay.
Okay, guys, start giving your answers. I am also giving mine. Mine done. And what about you? Okay. We have school board. Devil had won the game. Congratulations, Devil, Krishna, Shraddha, Daring Comrade, Preeti, Charu, Ayuman. You just all played very well. Great. Now it's time to continue further, and we have one game also for you. Now please show the PPT. Thank you for joining us in the quiz time. Next game we have jumble words. You have to just rearrange these words and write down these words in the chat box. They will show your original name. We all want your original name. Okay, you guys had to rearrange these 5 words and you had to put it down on the chat box. Yes, ma'am?
No hints for this game?
No, ma'am, no hints are there.
Okay.
Okay, everyone going very great. Show your spirit, guys. Show your enthusiasm in the chat box. Good one. Puneet, Divyansh, Ashish, Mosmi, Vinayak, Siddhi Srivastava, Aditya, Ayush, Achal, Kajal. Great, great, great going, guys.
Getting diamonds. Guys, where is the second D for diamonds?
Then they all are thinking that we are diamonds. Can you please write them in the sequence that one is this, second is this, so that I can say that you got all the answers?
I guess it's too late to say that thing. All answers are out now. We can give shout out to the one who answered that particular problem, maybe. Maybe I guess Dheeraj answered the first Jamboard.
Yeah.
Then Mosmi Drive. Then Mosmi again Hangouts. Okay, then Raghuvanshi ji answered Sheets. Okay, domains also. Yeah. I guess these are right? Sarika, because I don't know, even I didn't arrange. Yeah.
So where are your answers? You also had two answers.
Now all answers are out. What need to? I was just
I thought
checking other
four. Okay.
answers.
All answers are. So congratulations to all the winners and thank you for enthusiasm. I thought winners and ma'am, can you please show the answers? Yeah, these are the answers. Who said diamonds? Domains. Yeah, you all are diamonds. First one is Jamboard, second one is Drive, third one is Hangout, fourth one is Sheets, and fifth one is Domain. Thank you for joining us in the quiz and the games. Now it is my being pleasure to propose. Okay, sorry. It's time for queries and answers. If you have guys any queries regarding GDSC IIST club, regarding the events which will be organizing in near future, you can ask. We will be pleased to answer your queries. And if you do not have any queries, then we can continue further. Okay, so no questions. I think you all squeezed your questions to Himanshu sir already, so no questions are there. Okay, continuing further. It is by being my pleasure to propose vote of thanks. A warm and cherished afternoon to our most valuable Honorable Director General, Mr. Arun S. Bhatnagar sir, Chief Guest, Himanshu sir, respected Principal of all, respected Principal Dr. Keshav Patidar sir, faculty members of institutes, heads, deans of all the departments, faculties, and all the students present over here. I am Sarika Purohit from second year IT department. It is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of those who worked hard to make this event GDSC trigger memorable and perfectly splendid. At first, I must say we are proud to be lead forward by a person who is not only a great leader, but also an amazing person. We can only hope to be half a person he is today. That is Director General Arun S. Bhattacharya sir. Your words of encouragement, guidance, and advice kept us sane while chasing our career, and we managed to learn something new every day. Also, I would like to thank Principal Dr. Keshav Patidar sir to be part of this event and making it more memorable. I would like to thank Mr. Himanshu Singh for accepting our request to join us on this event and to answer all the queries for the students. I want to thank all the HODs, deans, and faculty of all three institutes of all departments. Also, I would like to thank Deepak Vishwakarma sir, our faculty advisor, for always guiding and motivating us. Then I would like to thank our technical team who had just handled the event greatly from the back end, from the front end for just keeping the spirit high during the whole event. Last but not the least, I would like to thank our chapter lead, GDSC lead Anurag Mishra sir and GDSC members and each and everyone for making this event happen and a success. Thank you so much everyone for joining this event and making this a great success. Stay tuned, guys, for more updates and join us in upcoming events. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today.